Okay, everyone, gather round. It's crime thriller time. You know, I don't just do action movies for the sake of it, but when Hollywood puts legends like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck to team up together on a Netflix thriller directed by Joe Connerman, I'm putting my popcorn on standby. The Rip is that film, a gritty R-rated crime drama premiering on Netflix on January 16th, or depending whenever you're watching this review, it might be out already. Starring a massive ensemble cast, including, but not least, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Stephen Yeun, Teyana Taylor, Sasha Cale, Catalina Sandiano, Maurino, Scott Adkins, and Kyle Chandler. This isn't rom-com territory or silly action popcorn. The Rip lands squarely in crime, drama, and thriller with a tangled character plot that is driven by who am I gonna trust? The basic gist is this. Miami cops discover millions in a stash house, and suddenly everything that was supposed to be straightforward, trust, loyalty, brotherhood, those things start to unravel. Matt Damon plays Lieutenant Dan Dermis, and Ben Affleck is Detective Sergeant J.D. Byrne. You can feel the years of friendship on screen here with them. It's so great to see them acting together again. But it doesn't stop there. Stephen Yeun, who I absolutely love, brings that intense, unpredictable edge. Basically, anytime I see his name attached to a project, I am there. He's one of the team that finds himself tangled in the mess of this messy money situation. Teyana Taylor and Sasha Cale add great range to the detective ensemble. Scott Adkins and Kyle Chandler bring a seasoned presence that keeps the story grounded. It's always great to see Scott Adkins on screen though, and I highly recommend going to see some of his higher explosive action films. The squad on screen together feels like they have been doing this for years. You believe them as a team. You have faith in their skills, the way they move, the way they carry their gear and weapons. They have that way about them that you believe that they could finish each other's sentences. They don't, but you believe that they could. What's fun here is that when you introduce a huge amount of money into the mix and then throw distrust at every character, it becomes a more interesting game for the viewer to play. Even when the story hints at a character being the one you should not trust, a scene later it'll say, no, forget about that, have a look at this person. It's a lot of fun in the mixture of it. It just reminds me a lot of stories that we've had before, like bits of Heat, Assault on Precinct 13. That's not a negative, it just reminded me of those. The Rip is criminal psychology and brotherhood over bullets and car chases. Though there is those two. At its core, it's about trust, morality, and how far people are willing to bend their values when stakes get hot. Finding illicit money in a stash house sounds like a winning lottery, until you remember money and crime stories never stay clean. This movie leans into that slow unraveling of trust between cops and the constant question of who do you trust when everyone has something to hide? Juan Miguel Apariza's cinematography and Clinton Shorter's music gives this thing a real lived-in gritty noir vibe, like Miami through a lens that's seen too many betrayals. It's a little bit Heat, as I mentioned before, but it's duking it out its tension with a bit of Training Day's morale. Well, it's Training Day's morale slide and a dash of old school police thriller suspense. Matt Damon brings that thoughtful intensity he's known for, and Affleck rides the tougher, more impulsive wave. Together, they create a partner dynamic that feels lived in. Friends, rivals, brothers of circumstance. The supporting cast ensures this never becomes just a Damon Affleck movie though. Everyone gets a moment to shine, or a moment for their motivation for their characters to exist. This one's definitely going to be for people who love crime thrillers, fans of character counterweight narratives, people who like moral ambiguity storylines, anyone who's excited to see Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. If you saw them grow up on screen together, you'll just be excited to see them on screen together again. So my final thoughts is this. The Rip isn't just a Netflix film. It feels like Netflix trying something confident in the thriller genre. And when Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are giving the crew more money if it does well on Netflix, that is more than enough reason for me to watch it, and should be more than enough for you to watch it. I'm giving this 3.5 Nicolas Cages out of 5. Not full chaotic Cage, but definitely I might be a criminal, but I'm charming about it, Cage. Let me know your thoughts and feelings. Thanks so much for watching this, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.